Hey everyone, it's FLAK. DICE recently revealed what's coming to Battlefield 2042 for Season 2. We're getting some new maps, guns, vehicles, a new specialist, as well as a new grenade. Devs gave me some hands-on time with the new Master of Arms content via EA's Creator Network, so let's go ahead and dig into it. So first up, let's talk the new map, Stranded. Set in Central America on what was a Panamanian lake, you'll fight over a beach container ship that's been converted into an illicit weapons marketplace. Now, at first glance, this may look a lot like Discarded, but thankfully, it plays significantly different. I got to play both 64-player Conquest and Breakthrough on Stranded, and it has easily become one of my favorite maps in the game for one particular reason, and that is infantry combat actually gets a chance to shine, which is sort of something that doesn't happen in core Battlefield 2042. There are vehicles on Stranded, including the new EBLC Ram and buggy-like Polaris Razor, but there is actual cover on objectives outside of the hulking ship. You've also got hills and cuts in the ground to break up the line of sight, as well as zip lines to help you get onto the ship quickly. DICE mentioned in a previous update they're really focusing on getting maps up to a particular quality standard, and I will say after playing it, this one definitely meets it. Inside the ship, combat is a close quarters brawl. On Breakthrough, you definitely feel that constrained grind familiar to maps like Locker. You do have some outside flanking routes you can go. You don't have to go right into the meat grinder, but it is definitely one of those maps. There is tight combat on objectives here as well. There is a good amount of verticality on Stranded, especially around the container section of the ship. This part of the map was probably my favorite part. There's just some really interesting angles and routes in there. Really makes it feel like a good infantry battle. As you saw in the trailer, you can technically fly a helicopter into the hold of the ship, but there isn't much room to maneuver. I would say that's going to be a quick one-way trip, but theoretically it is something you can do. Don't see it happening very often. I mentioned those new vehicles earlier. I did not get a chance to use them during the playtest, but I did come up against the Ram a few times. It's got 3 weapon stations, so do not underestimate it based on its diminutive size. It is speedy and it does pack a punch. I saw it smoke a MAV, but like all problems in Battlefield, it can be solved with a proper application of high explosives. For new weapons, DICE added the AM-40, which fits somewhere between an assault rifle and a submachine gun. I felt it was pretty average. There's also the Advances LMG. I didn't get a chance to use this, but it was supposedly big on mobility. However, the real game changer here in Master of Arms is the full auto PF-51 as a sidearm. This thing is an absolute beast. It boasts a 50-round magazine, full auto. You're able to use it like, the G18 in previous games. And you might look at it and say, wow, this really looks overpowered. It is pretty difficult to control, and the reload is absolutely pedestrian. Still really fun to use. You might have missed a pair of portal weapons are coming too, the M60E4 and the M16A3. The latter one there I used a lot during the playtest. I really enjoyed the way it was balanced for core Battlefield 2042. The expansion also adds a new Concussion Grenade. I didn't find it as OP as you might believe. During the entire 2-hour play session, I was only blinded twice, and believe me, there were plenty of them flying around. And I will say that one of those 2 times was by myself. And you really have to be looking right at the grenade for it to be truly effective. The kicker here, though, you can equip 2 of them. That might raise some eyebrows. I also think you might see that perhaps changed in the future. One thing to talk about with the Concussion Grenade, it does look like if you are hit with it and concussed, it will knock you out of ADS. You can see the animation here. The character actually puts up their arm. So they take it off of the weapon, and I think you're kicked into hip fire mode at that point. Doesn't last very long. But just something to mention. Meanwhile, we do need to talk, of course, about the new specialist, Crawford. based on the trailer, you're probably expecting him to be insanely powerful. I personally think that he's balanced quite well. I don't know if that'll be the case if the whole team is using Crawford, but it's definitely a specialist that shines in close quarters, particularly at choke points, as you would imagine for a minigun. The minigun isn't very accurate, and while it does spit out a lot of lead, I will also say it is far from invincible. I had a couple occasions where I got the turret up, and it was just immediately destroyed by small arms fire as soon as I deployed it. I didn't even have a chance to get onto it and start using it. It was just instantly gone. So it is not as strong as you might think it would be. You can also shoot the gunner through the window in the front. The feet remain unprotected as well. And uniquely, anyone can use the turret, including members of the enemy team. It does have a limited side-to-side traverse, meaning you can't just swing it around 180 degrees, which of course limits its effectiveness. It is important to note that you can combo Crawford's turret with other abilities. One thing we actually saw in the trailer was placing Irish's deployable cover in front of the turret. Certainly that'll give it some extra life, extra protection there, but you'll want to be keeping an eye out for creative ways to employ Crawford's turret. Overall, I really enjoyed the content in Battlefield 2042 Season 2 Master of Arms, but it's frustrating in kind of a surprising way. DICE did an excellent job designing the map. Everything feels like a serious bump in quality compared to the game's launch. I want to stress that. I didn't get a chance to play the newly reworked Renewal and Orbital, but I do have high hopes for those remakes based on the previews. My point is, though, developers feel like they're finally hitting their stride and addressing some of the biggest issues with Battlefield 2042. At the same time, they've also revealed that we should expect a similar amount of content for future seasons of the game. Compared to previous games, this is not a lot. I want to stress that I am disappointed with the amount of content here. Not the quality, but the amount. And call me old-fashioned, but fixing existing maps shouldn't count as adding new ones. It is clear at this juncture that DICE are focused on quality of life fixes and adding an obligatory amount of content. That doesn't mean it's going to be bad content again. It looks like things are shaping up well. There is still a chance that that changes, but I think the studio is focused on other titles now at this point. Some of you may view that as a good thing, others may view it as a bad thing. It's really neither here nor there, but it does kind of suck. Again, I really enjoyed Stranded, and I want more of that kind of content. It's been a long time since I've had that itch of like, man, I want to go play Battlefield 2042, or I want to play a particular map. And Stranded has brought that back. It really is a lot of fun. It felt like classic Battlefield. And that does sting a little bit, but after wrestling with 2042 for almost a year now, I think the best approach is just try to enjoy what DICE are putting out with the remaining seasons, and pray current leadership actually learns something over the life of the game. I think that is the best that we can hope for at this point. Just try to enjoy whatever DICE is going to put out. But Master of Arms Season 2, Battlefield 2042, I thought it was great. Just left me wanting more. So make of that what you will. I'm curious what you think of the new content. What do you think of what you see here in the gameplay footage? Tell me down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If not, a dislike. Make sure to subscribe, tap the bell to get updates on all the latest Battlefield content. If you want to support the channel, keep your money, share this video, go check out our Shorts channel. There's a link to that down below in the video description as well. And as always, thanks for watching.